Okay, let's see. We have a timer. Timer is running. Let me check a few things, but I think we're good here. All right. Yep. Got excellent signal. Switch to live chat. Oh, you know what? I forgot to turn my be right back on. There it is. Here we go. I don't know why I forgot that, but I did. And I just got, you heard my thing telling me I'm live. Thank you. Okay. Let me switch over to here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Switch. Okay. Hold on a second. Good, 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 good. All right, that's done. Everything is done where it needs to be there. All right. So all I need to do is do my hit enter party. Where am I? Here we go. Enter. 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 Okay, that's everything there, so I can exit from here. Yeah, okay. Okay, I'm going to take a sip of water really quick, but everything looks like it's working. Yep, there we go. Okay. Let's see here. Stats. What does stats tell me? Frames per second. 60. Okay, good. Live. Yeah. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. All right. Yeah, let's... looks good. Anything else I care about here? Lock docks. Ooh. What is this? Oh, I know what that is. That doesn't matter. Okay. All right. Move my keyboard. And I think at this point, we are ready to go. Okay, chat rate 1. What is chat rate 1? Is that because I bumped my keyboard? Or does that mean somebody said something? Because nothing is... Well, I should be patient. I know sometimes there's a bit of lag to it. So, oh, the reflector thing. Reflector needs to actually show reflector. Here we go. Okay. All right, let's get going here. Oh, man, sorry. Yeah, there we go. Why the clicks seem like delayed today. But what else is new? Not a big deal. Luckily, this is all very, very informal. There we are. Okay. So, you can see, I hope, what we're working on tonight. So as you can see, I've been doing the color. I've got my flames colored. I found, oh, the chains. Ugh. Originally the chains, sorry about you. Originally the chains, if you remember, were bright yellow. Just didn't like them. Just did not like the bright yellow. And so I found essentially a gold color. So let's keep going on the gold here because I like this better. Because, oh, that's the wrong pen entirely. There we are. I used yellow on the magic cards themselves, that kind of bright yellow, and it made sense for that. Because with that size, brighter colors are better. It's easier to see them. They print better. It's all that, it's more recognizable on a small scale. But this is not meant to be a small scale, small card. This image is, I want to say, what is this image? 12 by 12 inches. So, yeah, this is not meant to be small. And so, using really bright, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like bright colors, but I am not the biggest fan of, I guess what you would call neon yellow. I don't even know what you would call it, but that's not really for me. So, yeah, I like this gold better. I think it fits better. So we're going to be doing some gold here. And I did do, I don't know if you noticed. Sorry about the odds, I really don't know. But I found a copper color, which I like for the connections from the chains to the hands. I think in the actual original image, let's take a look, I'm curious. I think in the original image, I didn't have the chains connecting to the hands directly. No, they just kind of circled it. This is the original, yeah. That's what I thought. They just kind of circle around it. They don't actually connect to the hands. But in this one, I want the chains to be there. I kind of like the idea of he's both in control of the chains, but also somewhat shackled to them. I just sort of like that idea that demonic power has a price of some kind. And in this case, the chains are almost in... Well, they don't really do that in the Hellraiser movies. I was going to say, it's sort of like what they do in the Hellraiser movies. But the chains never... The chains never control them. But I guess they sort of do, because they are creatures of pain. So maybe the chains do have some kind of control over them. But anyway, I just like the idea of the chains connecting up to the hands, and I didn't really know how to do it. Oh, you know what? Because he's chained to the lamp, so that's part of it too. Is this idea that, because that lamp, I really don't know what that lamp does, to be honest, for the character. I don't know, because I don't play the game, so I don't know if the lamp has a significance or if it's just something they like. In other words, it's just a design element, because the reference imagery I was given had that lamp very prominently, so I incorporated it, assuming it had some kind of significance. I almost interpreted it as a demonic version of... I don't know what they call the... I don't know what in the Catholic Church the priests hold this thing that sometimes is on a chain that they swing, and it emits, I think, frankincense or something, I guess. I gotta check one quick thing here on the chains. Just want to see something. I want to make sure. Yeah, that's how it is. Okay, just checking. So I don't... Yeah, I'm really sorry about the yawning. I don't know why I'm yawning. I'm not tired. Anyway. So I don't know if this lamp is meant to, or whatever that thing is. I mean, I'm saying it's a lamp. I don't know what it is. Whatever that object is, I just automatically read that as a evil version of whatever that container is that the Catholic priests swing around. I know there's a name for it. I just don't know what it is. I would have known when I was younger, but I don't know now. Oh, I think I have to sneeze. I'm going to mute real quick. Whew. Yep. Okay. I have discovered pepper does make me sneeze. Something you usually would associate with a cartoon. It's actually true. Pepper does make me sneeze. And I did put some pepper on my dinner, so it's probably some leftover on my shirt or something. But yeah, pepper does make me sneeze. Like I said, that was always kind of a... Well, whoops. Don't fill. I'm just not trying to fill. I'm just trying to reconnect here. Good grief. I tell you, it's always something. Always something. Okay, thank you. There we go. But pepper does make me sneeze. It does. It does. Oh, man. I don't... The yawning thing really is... It really bothers me. Because I'm sure it's terrible to listen to. And I honestly, I'm not... I don't... I come on the stream and immediately I just start yawning. And I'm not bored because I'm having fun working on this image, so it's not boredom. I don't know what it is. It is some kind of... I gotta look. I'm sure there's ways to snap myself out of it. The water thing didn't work. I tried that for a while. It did not. Ultimately was unsuccessful. Wish it had worked. It didn't. You know, it's just the way it goes. Yeah. So I'm not trying to yawn. Here comes another one. I can feel it. I'm trying to push it down. Here we go. I kind of suppressed it. Kind of did. I did it. I suppressed it enough that it wasn't as full-blown as it was going to be. Yeah. So, yeah, we're doing the colors on this. I actually just earlier today finished editing a video version of a discussion I had with filmmaker Len Kabaczynski. We were talking about the late, great Roger Corman, who just recently died. And is a absolute, I don't think enough people know his name that aren't movie nerds. And honestly, anybody who enjoys movies of any kind should know who he is and should be aware of him, because he was a hugely influential figure in not only low-budget filmmaking, which certainly is where he did most of his, or had most of his influence, but also is really connected in many ways to a lot of the bigger movie stars and directors and people, household names. You know, most famously James Cameron, but also like Sylvester Stallone was in his movies. I mean, he's just one of these people that it's a shame that more people, because everybody knows Steven Spielberg and everybody knows, you know, there's the big names, Martin Scorsese, all these people. And I'm not saying that Roger Corman was as talented a director as Martin Scorsese or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. But in terms of importance to film and filmmaking, and certainly as Len is a low-budget filmmaker, you know, the people who don't have access to $60 million film budgets, and as somebody who really did try to let people who might not ordinarily be able to make movies, and really, as long as they were, you know, able to make them on a budget that he specified and that, you know, they were entertaining, would let you do your stuff. Doesn't get enough recognition. I'm sure he will. I would imagine at the next Academy Awards he will be featured, and my suspicion would be that it will be for a lot of people the first time they really know who this person is, which is, again, is a shame because of his importance. But anyway, we did as many film fans have. In fact, if you go on YouTube, you will find Roger Corman tributes everywhere. So, you know, it is among people who are fans of film. His name is very well known, and his loss is keenly felt. Although, as I said in the show that I did with Len, I mean, he made it to 98 years old, and by all accounts, was at the end of a very happy and fulfilled life, from what we can tell. And not many people get to claim that, especially to be alive, to know that to what your importance is. I think a lot of people within the industry did recognize what his contributions were, and that's great. But yeah, so I've been working on that. I finished it a little while ago. In fact, I think, based on the fact that I don't hear my computer's fans screaming, my suspicion is that the export of that video is complete. So I will post it probably tomorrow. Len already put his version up, and I always wait till he puts his up, because it is his show, The Forgotten Movie Den. He was doing it long before I started doing it with him, so I do like to make sure I have that respect to let him get the traction on his videos before I post mine. And our videos are very different too. Mine are very, you know, I put like, I have my, in the one that I did, I have all different Roger Corman trailers running in the background as we talk. Because, you know, and in Len's, you see him talking and I'm on the computer. Because Len is a much better looking individual than I am, and is much more geared to be seen than I want to be. So his videos, mine, are very different, because, you know, I think he's a handsome gentleman, and people like to look at him, whereas I don't really need to be looked at. I'm fine being just a voice behind nothing, and so that's basically what I am. But in my videos, I always try to do little things like I said, doing the trailers and movie posters and stuff like that, so that there's some interesting stuff going on. I always like to play around with different backgrounds and things like that. So it lets me pretend in very, very small ways to be a video editor, because I'm not that good at it. But those videos give me the chance to kind of mess with it. And you know, I could see myself, of course, a lot of people say this when something isn't a job, but video editing is fun. It is fun to have an idea of the structure of something, and to get the elements together and try to piece it together in the right way so that it looks the way you kind of want it to. There's frustration in that too. It's very similar to doing visual artwork, where there's certain times where I want something to be a certain way and I just can't get it right. You end up having to, I mean, a lot of it too is I don't know how to use After Effects. I mean, for those who don't know, After Effects is basically a visual effects program in the Adobe suite. Premiere Pro, which is what I usually work in, or mostly work in, is more of a pure footage editor, where you're taking things that are ready to be diced and spliced, whereas After Effects is where you create the visual effects, and I just am no good at it. So I often go around and look for visual effects to use in the Adobe stock portfolio, which is great, except that you're of course limited to what other people have done. And as you know, most creative things are, it's extremely rare when somebody else has the same idea. Or, you know, it's not necessarily always rare, but when you see somebody, to have somebody that does something in the same way you want them to. So that doesn't mean they didn't have the same idea, but they execute it differently. So I was looking around at first for kind of a play on versus titles, you know, where almost like the cross thing that a lot of video games do. It's like, you know, Tekken cross Street Fighter, and they have the X there. Hold on, getting a drink of water. So my first idea was that, and I couldn't find anything. And like I said, if I was good at After Effects, could I make it myself? Yeah, I probably could, but I'm not good at After Effects. So I didn't bother. So I found something else. I just went with a much simpler, I should say, if I want to speak English correctly, a much simpler idea. You know what? I'm going to make the eyes the same red as that. I like that red. So let's go ahead and make the eyes that color. I like that red. And maybe I'll make the pupils like a gold or something. We'll see. I'm not 100% on what I'm going to do with that yet. We'll see. Maybe I will make them gold. Gold is a nice color. I do like it. So maybe for now, I may change this later, but I think I'm going to make them gold like that. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I'm digging that. That'll work. Now, let's see. Now I got to get the clothing colors. I made these these clothes were a really dark red, I think, in the original, which I think I liked. Let me take a look at it. Yeah, I do like these colors, too. The problem is they're sort of close to... Interesting. You know what? Maybe I'm going to do an inversion of what I did before. Because before, most of the clothing color was reds and kind of like muddy red-brown. But maybe this time I'll do purples. Because the purples were the kind of these center parts here were the purples. But maybe I'm going to do something different this time. What is this color? Is that red? That's the red. What's this? Jeez, these aren't great colors either. I'm thinking like more of, something like that. But maybe lean a little bit more into the red area. Let's start with that. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, I want to try something. I want to take a look at something really quick. I want to do a... Where is... There it is. Yeah, let me do a quick export of that as a ping file real fast, because I just want to use it as a frame of reference to see what I want to do here. So let's do a quick import, add, photo. I just want to look at this. I'm just going to use this as kind of a sort of a color guide, somewhat. But just to get an idea of what I did before. I'm just looking at it. Yeah, I do think I'm going to do the purples as the main color here. So I need, what, 4 versions of that? 4 variances on that? Yeah. So let's turn that off for a minute. So let's make this purple be here. Oh, I have to add a new layer. Sorry about that. This can go above all this. Put that right there, I guess. Okay, let's do a new color. Let's do this purplish thing here. Yep. Okay. Now let's do another new layer. How many layers do I have left? Hold on, I gotta check. Should be aware of what I've got left layer-wise. 28 left. Okay, that's not bad. I can work with that. So this will be a slightly lighter version of the color. Yes. So let's go to brightness. We'll bump the brightness up. Just look at the colors on this thing. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Let's bump the saturation up a little bit. Okay, so that's now the new color for this layer. So we'll do that. There we are. And then I think this color, hold on. Hi, cutie. It's my dog in the background. My wife is doing her, what's the word for it? Her aerobics class out in the garage. And my dog can hear them yelling. And it drives her a bit nuts. So you're going to hear some, yes, hi. I know. I know. You can hear them, huh? You hear them? You hear them? Let me see. Yeah, she's a bit of a, she's not very good at sharing. Say it like that, huh? You're not so good at that. Not so good at it, ma'am. No, you're not. You're not. Give me it. Hey. Fine. I tried. So, okay. So that's going to be our main colors. And I think when I did the other one, that was the foundational colors for everything. I think that makes sense. Yeah, because, okay, so they're lighter. So they're lighter. And the headpiece. Okay, yeah. So we'll make the headpiece. It's not going to be all uniform color like I did before. And the other one I did it all uniform. That's not going to be the case this time. So we'll make it... Huh. Interesting. How do I want to do this? Now I have to really think about it. So I think I'm going to do it like that. And then that. I do like the idea of a lot of it being the same, but alternating. And then we will use this color here as, and I can always change this if I don't like it. That, do that. Now as far as the actual headpiece, we'll do that in there. Let's do the really dark one for the inner parts, which is like, Now let's do it here because it'll outline the face better. And the bottom, yep. And let's use that one. Is that this? Or is that something different? No, that's something different. So we'll use that here. And then we will use... Actually... Hold on, I'm thinking about this now. How do I want to do this? How do I want to deploy this? Maybe that goes there. And then... There's one I haven't used, right? Hold on, let's see. Okay. No, I have used one. Let's use this one. No, I don't want to use that for that. You know what? I'm going to stick with this. I'm going to stick with this one. I like this for this. Yep. So, and then also there. Okay, so that's that one. All right, let's start coloring this stuff in because I want to see what it actually looks like. I mean, it's one thing to plan it, but let's see what it actually starts to look like. And I will use symmetrical for this because why not? These are symmetrical. I mean, more or less. If there's little parts they're going to clean up, that's fine. But they should be pretty symmetrical. Okay. Just start to see what it looks like. See if I'm happy with it once I'm seeing a lot of the color in place. I mean, that's the key. Is you can do these little splotches wherever you want, but until you actually start laying the color in, okay, it's behind this. That's good. You don't really know if you like it or not. So that's one good reason that, okay, you don't lay in colors on every single piece of it till you've done a big chunk to see if you like it or not. Because, you might not. So before you get too far into it, okay, let's see. Whoops, wrong button. Okay, let's do that. Put that down. This should all be pretty good because the symmetry on this should be... The face itself is not symmetrical, but the helm, as far as I remember, is. And then is that this too? Or is that a different thing? Let's see. Nope, that's that too. So it is the whole kind of face mask part here, which is fun. It's good because, like I said, the dark color is going to make the face pop out more. That light gray, which is the same as... I did have to add one version of gray, but otherwise it is the same as the original image because I did like the gray kind of ghostly face or whatever. Because again, he's got all this fire element behind him, so it's a contrast thing where he himself is pale. Okay, but his stuff is not. Okay, so let's do this. Oh, I have to do assist on that too. Get the color. Okay, let's do this. Let's go in here. Yep. It's funny. I'm really not good with color. I'm really not. I just never have been. I can... It's such a weird blind spot for me, but I'm not good with color. I can't... I can... When I see colors, I'm like, oh yeah, perfect, that's what it is. But I can't come up with them for some reason. I just have this really difficult time coming up with colors. You know, that's why I'm partially using the previous image, because I was amazingly able to come up with colors for it, which I still am sort of baffled by. You know what? I wonder if I want to do... No, stick with what you did. It's fine. This real thing about colors touching colors for some reason, it's dumb. I don't know why I have it. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't make a difference. Truly doesn't. Yeah, see, those colors almost look the same, right? Until you do that, and then you can see it. It's funny, because I actually for a minute went, oh, I used the wrong color. I didn't. It just looks like I did. But I actually did not. Just appears that way, but it is not, in fact. Wrong paintbrush. There, right there. Whoa, no. Oh, I see what I did. That's okay. All right, there we are. Just had to actually select the right, number one, the right type of brush, because I kept going back to the eraser. And then the right brush, I guess head, whatever the program considers that to be. I would say it's probably a brush head in the terminology of it. So here we go. But yeah, I'm not good with colors. I'm really not. It's not that I don't like colors. I just don't have a command of them. It's such an odd thing, but it's just how it is. So, oh, I was talking about video editing. I knew I was I knew I had I don't know where my words are going today. I knew I was talking about something and left something behind. That's, I think, what I was trying to say is I knew I was leaving something off. So yeah, the video editing thing is fun. I like doing it. Oops, I missed a little spot there. Let me fix that really quick. Hold on. So that video will be out tomorrow, which, as the recording of this, would be May 22nd if you want to go back and see it. But yeah, like I said, oh no, I did it on the wrong layer. I can already see what I did. See? Wrong layer. Put it on the wrong layer. Gotta fix it. Nope, it has to get fixed. Can't leave that. That's no good. Can't start mixing layers now. Will only lead to problems later. But yeah, Roger Corman, there's going to be a whole lot of people to say things about him. So, and that's another reason that I wanted to wait till, to put my quote-unquote video out, until after Len had already done his, because I want him to get the, you know, the early hits. I don't really... because I have two YouTube channels. One is for, yeah, that's what I thought. The one that you're seeing this on live is the art channel. And that one I care about, because I do want that one to be kind of a, what do you call it? Like a historical record of me working on different things. I think it's neat, the idea of that, and that people can come back and just see literally how I work. I mean, there's no exaggeration or changing in how I do things for this, except that I'm talking. That is literally the only thing, is I don't talk to myself when I draw. That is the only thing that I have adjusted for the YouTube channel. And I have actually thought, to be honest about it, I've thought about not even talking. I've thought about just possibly contacting musicians that I like and just seeing if I can play their albums as I draw behind them. Like the spot, I mean, obviously it would be smaller time people. I don't have any connections to big time musicians, but something where I would just take like a smaller artist, like an independent artist, and say, hey, I like your music. Would you mind if I streamed your album in the background as I draw? You know, with you know, obviously information on how to support the artist, that type of thing. I've thought about that because I don't always feel like I'm saying anything particularly interesting. I never think I'm saying anything particularly interesting. So, and it'd be one thing if people always came into chat and had questions. And by the way, this is not me soliciting people to stop into chat. I'm not being like, oh man, nobody ever comes by and talks to me. It's not that type of thing. I'm just saying that without a I guess what you would call a live audience, because that's what it would be, without that, it is really just me having to fill the time. And that's not the simplest thing. I mean, I can do it, but, there are days where I'm in the mood to draw, but I don't have anything to say. So I kind of just try to come up with something to not just be sitting here mute. I mean, there is background music playing, but it is functioning as background music. It is not really, like, I'm talking over it. Whereas if I were to do the thing where I played an artist's music, that I would not talk over it. I'd be quiet. I might chime in here and there and be like, oh, this is a really good track, and then just shut up again. But I wouldn't be talking over it constantly. That would not be the point. I'd want the stream to serve as much to showcase that person's album as anything else. Maybe I should ask Faint Waves what he would think of that, because he pops in here from time to time. Of course, this is one of the times he didn't show up where I'd be like, hey, Faint Waves, would you want me to do that? I don't know if artists would not like me to do that. I would ask for permission. I'm not just going to stream somebody's stuff. Just not how I do things. But okay, so let's get the big paintbrush out. Let's fill that in. I'm gonna have to fix that other side because that is not symmetrical. So I think you can probably already see that. See, it's bled over a little bit. There are parts of it that are not symmetrical. Most of it is, but there are also large parts that are not. So I just have to fix those, which is not a big deal. Just a matter of doing that. And then that comes up here, so we'll sweep that up. There we are. Do the same thing over. See, this is not symmetrical, so there's no point in me turning that symmetry thing back on, or I'm just going to end up spending as much time fixing where it goes outside the lines as anything else. So we'll just do this the standard way. How long have I been streaming for? Oh, 32 minutes. 32? Yeah, 32 minutes. Okay. I don't have any sense of time either. Honestly, that thing could have said 50 minutes or could have said 5, and it would have been the same to me. I don't have any sense of it. I mean, I could have guessed it was more than 5, just because I know I've been coloring for a while. But if it said 15 or 50, that's probably a better one. I wouldn't have doubted either of those times. I would be like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because I don't have much of a sense of time either. I don't have much of a sense of place. I don't have much of a sense of a time. Yeah, it's a miracle I can operate in everyday life, to be honest. Sort of amazed that I can, but somehow I do. Where is that other image? I want to see it. Did I just use the same? Oh no, I didn't. I used different colors. So I will need a 4th color, I can already tell. I'm going to need a 4th variation on this thing, which is fine. We'll get to that in a minute. So let's go ahead and do... We're in that same one, right? Yes. I'm liking these colors, so I'm going to stick with them. So let's get the paint thing here. And these arms are absolutely not symmetrical. I know that. The arms are different. So I'm not even going to bother, but I'm going to use that color in between here. And then probably one of the darker ones as a fill-in color. But see, I mean, those are completely different, so there's no point in even getting the symmetry tool involved here, because it'll just be a bunch of cleanup work more than it will be assisting me. Alright. Have to call the cable company tomorrow because the cable cards in our DVR suddenly stopped working, which I'm curious if they even offer cable card service anymore. It used to be a requirement in the United States, but they got rid of that, so I'm wondering if they're just killing the cards off to try to get people to switch to their rent-a-boxes, which, if they are, probably canceling cable because I don't want their boxes. I don't care. We literally only watch baseball games on it, and I can figure out how to VPN my way around that problem. As opposed to, oh yeah, that's got to be the same. That's a skin tone. As opposed to renting one of their boxes. That's ridiculous. I'm not doing that. But we'll see. Or it could be that they literally did upgrade. I mean, they should let cable cards stay. But whether they will or not, I really don't know. Okay, so if I have, what do I have there? 3 colors? I have 3 face colors or 4? 3. Okay. So if I have 3 face colors, let's do it this way. We're going to use, this is the darkest one, yes? Hold on. It is. This is the darkest one. So for the darkest one, we'll do this. I don't want to forget about the hands. They are also not symmetrical, so don't want to forget about the hands. Actually, no, it shouldn't be that. It should be, this should be the darkest part in here. There we are. And then the mid-range will be around that. Yeah, I got it. So that's the darkest, and then this is the darkest on the fingers themselves. Right. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I got it. Okay. All right. Itchy. Not really itchy, it's just that I have a strand of hair that the fan, because it's 90 degrees today, the fan is blowing just right to keep barely kind of whisking across the back of my neck, which is driving me nuts because it's itchy, but I'm fine. Yeah. Okay. So when I say itchy, it's not really that I'm itching, it's just that I keep having this one little strand of hair that's hitting into my neck, which is very annoying. Okay, that color is there. So now we'll go to the other hand. We'll use more or less the same approach. So we'll do the dark part of the hand here, because this is actually the hand coming out of that shackle thing. Color this in, and you know, this doesn't have to strictly be correct. I'm just generally following some shading ideas, but since this is meant to be stained glass, you don't go for one-to-one realism here. There is a embellishment angle to it that you want to have, or I should say that I want to have. If you do a stained glass piece, you may do something different. That was one of the interesting parts of working on the Magic cards, is there were a number of different people who did the stained glass variants, and some people did some really different approaches to it than I did. Getting a sip of water, 1 second. Which of course I think is great. I love it. I'm thrilled to see people do something different, because I knew what my idea of it was. And what's funny is, and I'm not going to get any specifics here because I think everybody who's an artist is entitled to do their interpretation of whatever the assignment is. But it was funny because somebody had said to me, somebody had looked at another piece of artwork that I actually quite like. I said, "Oh, look at this. This is great." And this person said, "Well, yeah, but it doesn't look like stained glass." You know, this person said, "You tried to mimic the idea of stained glass." And I said, "Well, yeah, I mean, but they don't have to." I mean, don't get me wrong, I took it as a compliment. You know what? I'm going to do one quick thing here that I just realized I want to do. So give me a second. Okay, there, it's all zeros. Let's switch back to this. I think I'm on the right line. Wait, am I? I am not. And like I said, I took it as a compliment, but I was like, well, you know, look, everybody does their own variation on something. It's not, there's no right or wrong way to do this thing. So, but I did try to mimic very specifically what I thought stained glass. That's why I have the different weighted lines, and I'm treating these things as like joints in the glass. So I was happy that somebody recognized that, but I said, oh, look, there isn't just one way to do stained glass. Somebody else's interpretation of what that means, there are different types of stained glass. So I said, look, I just did one based on what stained glass means to me, but doesn't mean it's more right than somebody else. It's not. That's the wonderful part about art, is that everybody sees things differently. And so these other people saw stained glass as meaning what they did, this other individual. That is perfectly valid. And like I said, I'm glad, because okay, let's just be honest, or I'll just be honest about it. I don't want everybody doing the same thing I did, because it's going to make it very clear that I'm far from the best person working on this project. So if everybody's doing things in a similar style, guess what that's going to say or expose? It's going to expose the people who aren't as good, which is, me. So I was very happy that people were doing different things. Like, no, that's good, because it means that my shortcomings are harder to tell, are harder to see. So I'm like, man, shut up. Let this person do what they want. I'm okay with it. Because it means that you're not comparing me directly to them. Thank you. Thank you very much. Because I will look not as good. So I'm okay with that. But in all seriousness too, besides that, which is, only about 10% true, I do think it is the thing where I want to see people doing different things. I don't want to see... I'm very happy that not everybody does the same type of art. I think it's really bad. It's one of the things I don't... Art school at the younger levels has that problem, where they just want everybody doing the same thing. And in my opinion, and it is purely my opinion, but in my opinion, I think that especially early on, the encouragement should be find your style, find your voice, realize what you bring to this thing, meaning artwork. What is it that you are doing this for? That doesn't mean you have to have a message in all your artwork. That's not what I mean by that. But creative expression should have some portion of personality to it. It should be you getting some part of yourself represented. Whether that is you expressing an opinion on something via a different medium other than just saying it out loud, or whether it's something inside you that you just want to see represented in some abstract way. I went to school with an artist who was an abstract painter. I gotta tell you, I've never quite seen anything like what she did. I remember I asked her, like, what do you describe this style as? And I can't describe it because it was abstract, but it was this very distinctive thing. And stupid me, I never kept track of her name, so I couldn't even look up to see what she's doing now. I would love to know what work she's doing now, see if she's still... I really hope she still is, because it was some of the most gorgeous painting I've ever seen. It had texture, and it had these really interesting uses of color and intersecting shapes and stuff. It was just magnificent. It really was. And like I said, she had no idea where it was coming from, I guess is the right way to say it. But that didn't stop her from doing it. It doesn't mean that every painting had an agenda or a meaning that everybody had to get. In fact, a lot of them, she didn't really know what they were supposed to mean. They were just something that she was seeing in her head. And she wanted to get it out onto a canvas. And I think that's great. That's what I'm saying about, I don't want everybody to do the same stained glass thing. Even though, yes, I am at least partially basing this on what actual stained glass looks like. That doesn't mean it's right or that the other person was wrong for not doing it as much. And that's my larger point, is that art is not... There's no one type of it. There's no right or wrong way to do it, so long as you're doing it, so long as it's coming from you. The only time I would say art is wrong or that somebody's doing it wrong is if you're just literally copying somebody else. Because then you're not adding anything to it. It doesn't have anything of yourself in it. If you're just copying somebody, you're not really creating. You're imitating. And so it's not really your art. It's somebody else that you're... And I'm not talking about like reinterpretation or transformation, because there's kind of a debate there on that type of stuff. And you could absolutely say, well, you know, you could take somebody else's work and transform it. Famously, there was a... I don't know if I talked about this in the stream. I may have, I may not have. But there was famously a artist who took the Mona Lisa and wrote French letters across the bottom of it. And that was a commentary on the Mona Lisa. So you can take somebody else's work and interpret it, absolutely. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who are just copying. And sometimes they do it for commercial reasons. I've seen people who copy, or more to the fact, steal other people's work to sell it, which I think is just terrible, and nobody should be doing that. But I've also seen people who just, I don't know, I feel like it's a lot of times it's a confidence thing, or a lack of it, where they don't feel like they are a good artist, so the only means they think they have is to steal, or not steal, but just to plain copy somebody else. And to feel like, okay, well, I drew that because I just did the same thing the other person did, so there you go. And it doesn't really get you anywhere. Not if that's all you're doing. If that's your only mechanism of expression, it's nothing. It's not nothing. You do have to have mechanical ability with your hands to be able to copy somebody's work, but it's not putting you out there. It's not you. It's just somebody else's stuff. And I don't think that's, I don't know, it's not good. But, you know. But that's not to say that early on, if you really don't know what your style is, that, you know, I've seen people that will play around with other artists' styles to see if it's something they like. That's fine. I've seen that where people are like, oh, that person does this interesting thing where they make, how they make shadows. And so I want to do, you know, some variation on that. I don't think there's anything. I mean, I've said before that in some of my work you can see very clear callbacks to Art Adams, the comic book artist. And it is. I mean, I'm not telling you it isn't. But at the same time, not that I could, but let's say I was trying to imitate. You don't see imitations of like his cross-hatching style, because, well, it's great when he does it. I've played around with cross-hatching, and I largely hate it. So that's what I mean about even when you are, you know, playing around with somebody else's work as a basis for your own, it doesn't mean that you're just copying it. Or at least it doesn't have to mean that. It can just mean that you're trying to figure out what you like about something. You know, if you see somebody doing a certain type of line, you might want to say, well, can I do a version of that? Can I do something like that but not the same? And you may start off figuring that out by more or less copying or imitating the line style, and then seeing where you can bend it to what you want it to be. That's fine. I think most artists do some version of that. I don't think that's a problem. I just think that if you're just outright stealing somebody's work or just copying their style almost entirely, you're only going to get so far with that. And you're cheating yourself, because you're not really getting to see your art be expressed. You're kind of, I don't know how to phrase it properly, but I just don't think it's, I think it's both. Number one, it's unfair to the artist you're stealing from or copying from, because you're basically just imitating their stuff, which to some degree is, you know, imitation is the greatest form of flattery is one thing, but it doesn't help you. And I think people should find out what their creative outlets are, and they should try to do stuff. And to some degree, the other thing with you know, as far as imitation is, it might prevent you from stumbling onto something really, really interesting that only you can do. You know, it's not like an artist like Dave McKean, who does these really interesting collages. It's not like he just magically could do that overnight. You know, he had to play around, he had to experiment, he had to see what what appealed to him and what made sense to him. And I'm sure very early on, pardon me, there were terrible things that he hates that he did. But even those things will be formative. They will tell you, if nothing else, what you don't like doing. And that's what I mean about, yeah, play around with things that you see others do that you like, but make sure that make some mistakes. Make some mistakes on your own. Make ugly artwork. And then don't look at it for a while, and then come back to it and see if it's really as ugly as you thought. It might not be. It really might not be. I've had things that I've made that I utterly hated in the moment, and then I was like, all right, just take a break from it. Don't look at it for a while. Just go do something else. Come back to this. Reevaluate it, separate from your feelings about it right now. And in some cases, not all of them. I'm not going to even pretend that. And not in most, if I'm being fair about it. But there have been these rare times where I've looked at something and I'm like, oh, okay, wait a minute. That's what I did wasn't what I like, but I can see something. I can see another variant of what I was thinking about here that would work. And then you can do that. So experimentation and I don't even call it failure, but pieces that go a different route than you might have wanted to, those are valuable. Just like anything, it's a learning experience. You form ideas about what you think your style is, and then you just and find out if it is actually your style or maybe it isn't. And it's valuable to know if it isn't too. There's a value in knowing what you absolutely don't want to do. That's not a bad thing to be aware of. So I think what I'll probably do is finish painting out filling in, I should say, these areas here. We'll probably call it for this particular stream, which I am liking doing these purples as the main colors as opposed to the secondary colors. Nice part is if I really come back and there's stuff where I like it and then I come back and I don't like it. Kind of like the flame lines in this image, which I've redone 3 times. Liked them when I did them, came back, looked at them, went, nope, don't like them, had to redo them. And then said, yeah, okay, that's it. Then came back and said, nope, that's not it, and had to redo them again. That's not bad. That's how it works. That's how the process goes. But so far, I'm liking this. So let's do this one. Where's that? Right there. That's right. It's this one. So we can do symmetry on this one. These are the same. Yeah. That'll speed that up a bit. I don't know what I'm going to do for that main kind of strap there yet. Haven't decided. Have not quite decided that one yet. Okay, let's cover that. Fill that in right there. Okay. Yeah, it looks good. I like it. Just curious about something real quick. It's a different color, right? Oh no, the neck thing is the same colors. I didn't realize that. Okay. Interesting. Alright, well then, since it is, I'm going to keep following that example. I like that. I'm not too down on that particular aspect of it. I like it. So let's go ahead and fill these in. Yep. Okay. That. Yeah, that's all right. Don't mind that. And let's do this color for the center. I have not determined what I want to do with those big straps yet. But I have a feeling it's going to be this color. I just have a hunch. I think that'll look good. In fact, we'll do it in a second. Let's just see. I think that's going to look better. Because I don't have much of this particular, the brighter version around. So I think that's going to be a good place to put it. Let's find out, shall we? Let's see. Yeah, I think that's going to work. Even though it does have overlapping colors there, I don't mind it. I think that red looks good like that. Let's see. We'll step back from it and take a wide look at it, and then I think that'll probably wrap up the stream because the iPad is starting to heat up. I can feel it. Yep, I like that. At least I do today. Could come back in 2 days for the next stream and decide I hate it, but I like it right now. I do like it right now. Okay. And then for those, we'll just go ahead and use this. It's a good color, so why not? So let's go ahead and do an assist on that one. Let's fill this in. Oh, just missed a spot right there. Let's get that real quick. If I missed it there, I probably missed it on the other side too, so I might as well leave the assist on. There we are. Okay. There we go. Bring this up here. Okay. Ah, there's another spot. Look at that. Right there. Oh, got it. It's okay. You find these things as you go along, so that's part of the process. It's part of the process. Okay. Well, you know what? I think that's a good place to stop now, because it's starting to heat the iPad up. But it's good. The colors are proceeding. I'm liking where it's going. One thing I may do... Well, I'm not going to think about it right now. I'm going to step away from it. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. I'm going to stop looking at it, because for right now, I'm pleased with where it is. And I can always reevaluate it later if I change my mind. So I'm not going to mess with it anymore tonight. So, yeah, that's where we're at. So thank you for watching the stream whenever you're watching it. As I always say, I don't mind if people come and find it later. I don't require anybody to be here for the live stuff. Perfectly okay. And I would encourage you to go be creative, because I think it's good for you in some way. Whatever that way is. It can be visual. It can be writing music or anything. Anything where it's you expressing yourself. Something unique about you that you get it out creatively. Any of that is good for you. Any of it. So I would encourage you to do that. And I am planning to be back for another stream in 2 days. From the live recording, obviously. But I'm posting these also 2 days apart. So I guess it actually works for the YouTube channel too, because I'm doing Tuesday, Thursdays on the posting too. So actually this all lines up. That was not really intentional. It just worked out that way. So there will be another video or stream, depending on what you're looking at, in a couple days. Until then, like I said, go be creative. Thank you again for coming by whenever you do. I appreciate it. And on that note, insert boilerplate language here till I can come up with something more clever to say. Until the next stream, until the next stream, thanks for stopping by and take care.